rushing or were you dragging?
Is Whiplash really a battle between two characters? After rewatching the film recently, I've come to the conclusion that essentially they are the same character. Damien Chazelle's Whiplash is often seen as a film about the toxic relationship between a relentless music teacher, Terence Fletcher, played by J.K. Simmons, and an ambitious drummer, Andrew Neiman, played by Miles Teller. But what if the real conflict isn't between them at all? And what if Andrew is both the protagonist and antagonist of his own story? In this video, we're going to break down how Whiplash brilliantly explores internal conflict, self-destruction, and the cost of greatness, and why Andrew's greatest enemy might just be himself. Let's quickly define what makes a protagonist and an antagonist. So a protagonist drives the story forward with their goals and their decisions. An antagonist represents the opposition, creating obstacles and conflict for the protagonist. In most stories, these roles are split between two characters, but in Whiplash, Andrew fills both roles. While Fletcher is clearly an external source of conflict, Andrew's obsession with proving his worth and achieving perfection often becomes his own greatest obstacle. His internal struggle is what makes the film so powerful. Relentless pursuit of perfection. His obsession with becoming one of the greats drives him to practice relentlessly, to the point of physical injury. Andrew isolates himself from friends and family, sacrificing personal relationships for his craft. Fletcher's pursuit of musical perfection pushes him to emotionally and physically abuse his students. He isolates them from comfort and forces them to prove their dedication through grueling, almost inhuman trials. Both characters willingly endure or inflict suffering in service of greatness. Their obsession blinds them to the emotional and physical damage it causes themselves and others. Uncompromising standards. Andrew's determination to stay in tempo during the rushing or dragging scene mirrors Fletcher's obsession with precision. Andrew refuses to back down even if it means humiliation or pain. Fletcher's notorious "not quite my tempo" mantra reflects his zero-tolerance policy for anything less than perfection. Both refuse to accept mediocrity, even at the expense of others' well-being or their own humanity. Testing limits.
That's my part. I'll be on your stage.
Fuck! You got 10 minutes, you fucking...
In the car crash scene, Andrew drags himself out of the wreckage, bleeding and injured, just to make it to the performance. His determination borders on self-destruction, as he values showing up more than his own safety. Fletcher manipulates and breaks his students emotionally, pushing them to their limits to see if they can achieve greatness. His method of testing their resolve is similarly brutal and self-serving. Both test the boundaries of human endurance, Andrew on himself, Fletcher on others. Emotional manipulation. Andrew's breakup with Nicole is calculated, cold, and manipulative. He frames it as necessary for his career, echoing Fletcher's justification for his abusive teaching methods.
I'm going to be thinking about jazz music and my charts and all that, and because of that, you're going to start to resent me.
Both use manipulation to get what they want, believing the end justifies the means. Rebellion against authority. When Fletcher pushes him too far, Andrew snaps during the final confrontation and tackles Fletcher on stage, symbolically rejecting Fletcher's control. Fletcher himself rebels against the institution that fired him by orchestrating the climactic final performance as a way to prove he's still in control. Both characters refuse to accept defeat and retaliate against perceived authority, even if it risks their careers. The final performance. Collaboration through conflict. In the final performance, Andrew turns Fletcher's attempt to humiliate him into an opportunity to showcase his talent. By reclaiming control of the performance, Andrew achieves a moment of transcendence. Fletcher, though initially attempting to sabotage Andrew, adapts and becomes a collaborator in Andrew's triumphant moment. He pushes Andrew, but also revels in the performance. The final performance shows their symbiotic relationship. Andrew and Fletcher thrive on pushing each other, and their shared drive creates a moment of artistic brilliance neither could have achieved alone. Obsession with legacy. Andrew's ultimate goal is to leave behind a lasting legacy as a great jazz drummer, much like Buddy Rich, no matter the personal cost. Fletcher's driving force is the creation of the next Charlie Parker, a lasting mark on the world through his teaching. Both are consumed by the idea of immortality through art and are willing to endure or cause suffering to achieve it. Whiplash doesn't follow the traditional hero versus villain formula. Instead, it dives deep into the psyche of its protagonist, showing how his own ambition can be just as destructive as any external force. This unique structure is what makes the film so compelling. At its core, Whiplash is a story about ambition, sacrifice, and the thin line between success and self-destruction. While Fletcher is a powerful and menacing presence, the real antagonist is Andrew himself. His drive for greatness, fueled by his own insecurities and ego, leads him to alienate everyone around him, including himself. These parallels demonstrate that Andrew and Fletcher are not so different. They're two sides of the same coin. Fletcher represents the extreme Andrew risks becoming, while Andrew embodies the lengths Fletcher might have once gone to in his pursuit of greatness. Their similarities create a tense and compelling dynamic, as both characters are willing to destroy themselves or others for the sake of their art. What do you think? Is Andrew both the hero and the villain of his own story? Or like me, do you think they're pretty much the same character? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that notification bell for more deep dives into your favourite films. Thanks for watching, and remember, the next Charlie Parker didn't become great by playing it safe.